Abu Dhabi is hosting peace talks between Ukraine, Russia and the US, with territorial issues being the main focus of discussions.
Thousands rally and hundreds of businesses shut down in Minnesota to protest against the US government's ongoing immigration crackdown.
Negotiators from Russia, Ukraine and the US are holding talks in Abu Dhabi, with territorial issues being the main focus of discussions. On Friday, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said the future of Ukraine's eastern Donbas region would be a major topic in the talks, which are continuing on Saturday. The US described the talks as productive, while Russia called them a working group on security issues. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said the withdrawal of Ukrainian troops from eastern Donbas remains, quote, an important condition for Russia. Russia's TASS news agency said the agenda included possible buffer zones and control mechanisms. Friday marked the first known occasion when officials from the Trump administration held talks at the same time with both Ukrainian and Russian negotiators.
Thousands of citizens took to the cold and icy streets of Minneapolis on Friday to protest against US President Donald Trump's ongoing crackdown on immigration. In a day of coordinated action across Minnesota, hundreds of businesses shut their doors to defy the weeks-long federal immigration operation underway across the state, where an ICE agent shot and killed a US citizen earlier this month. The protesters were further energized after 5-year-old Liam Conejo Ramos was detained along with his father on Tuesday. He is one of at least 4 children to have been detained in the same area this month, administrators said. Minnesota has sought a temporary restraining order for the ICE operation in the state, which, if granted by a federal judge, would pause the operations.
Two people have been killed in the US's latest attack on a boat in the eastern Pacific Ocean, which is the first such strike since the US military captured Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro earlier this month. A third person survived and was found during the search and rescue operation following the bombing. The operation was conducted under the command of Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth. In a statement on social media, U.S. Southern Command said the vessel was operated by designated terrorist organizations involved in drug trafficking operations. Since September, U.S. President Trump's administration has launched at least 36 attacks, leaving 125 people dead, raising human rights concerns. The lack of transparency in how targets are chosen and the absence of international oversight continue to raise doubts about the legitimacy of these high seas operations. Critics say that without clear authorization or an international mandate, such actions violate national sovereignty and existing treaties.
The UK said on Friday that Donald Trump was wrong to diminish the role of NATO troops in Afghanistan after a claim by the US president that they did not fight on the front line sparked outrage. In an interview with US broadcaster Fox News, Trump appeared unaware that close to 500 British soldiers lost their lives during NATO's Afghanistan deployment following the September 11 attacks on the US. Trump also repeated claims that NATO would not come to the US's service if requested, despite the mission in Afghanistan coming after Washington invoked NATO's Collective Security Clause, the only time Article 5 was ever triggered. Starmer slammed Trump for his comments, calling them, quote, insulting and frankly appalling.
And so I consider President Trump's remarks to be insulting and frankly appalling.
The UK Premier hailed the fallen soldiers as heroes and praised them for their bravery and sacrifice. He also reminded Trump that British troops did respond to the US's call and fought because of the relationship Washington and London share and to safeguard common values.